Good afternoon. 100 years ago, to the month, on this land, the building we know as Hedrick Hall, just out here, was being readied for classes to begin in the fall of 1925. Relocating from the home of its founding in Newton in Catawba County, North Carolina, Catawba College was experiencing a new beginning in its new home here on this very land. By fall of 1925, a new hall to house women would also be completed and was named Elizabeth Conrad Zartman Hall. You know it as BZ today. It is reported that people spoke of the college aborning again. Catawba, conceived in 1949 and founded in 1851, was being reborn in 1925, right here on this land. Thus, some still speak of the new Catawba, right, Mr. Arnold? The new Catawba that was birthed here in Salisbury 100 years ago. Between 1925 and 1930, 10 buildings were constructed. There were other phases of growth and expansion to follow in the late 40s and 50s, in the mid 60s, in the early 70s, and again in the mid to late 80s. Those who stood then where we stand today enabled the college's ideal, scholarship with character and culture for service, to be advanced by their vision, their generosity, and their diligence. We are the beneficiaries of their service to Catawba College. So today, we're privileged to be a part of another historic expansion of the college, providing new and renewed spaces for students to live, learn, and play. As we commence the nearly $90 million of construction, we're determined to provide well for our students, to carry on our work as a living and learning laboratory for environmental education, and to create beautiful spaces in the natural and built environment that is our campus home. I note we are doing this without any debt. Let that sink in. We're pursuing design and standards that place us on the leading edge of conservation, energy efficiencies, and sustainable practices. And we want students and all who come to campus to love the vibe of the place. Now, I feel reasonably certain that 100 years from now, none of us will be here. I'm also reasonably certain that over the next 100 years, the lives of thousands of students will be impacted for the good by the work begun here today and completed over the next months and years. I'm very grateful that we all get to be a part of this. Thank you all for joining us on this occasion. I appreciate our elected and government officials who've joined us here today. Thank you to members of our Board of Trustees and 2 former First Ladies. Many thanks to what was called the New Residence Hall Committee that ended up working on the new Residence Hall, and a lot of other stuff, right, Caitlin Cothran, wherever you are? A whole lot of other stuff. Thank you all for your work to bring us to this place, and thank you to our partners at Little, Edifice, Page, Balfour Beatty, CMTA, RMI, and Brailsford and Dunleavy. You'll get to hear from representatives of those groups in just a moment. To all of you, I'm glad we get to make Catawba history together. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you our Vice President for Sustainability and Executive Director of our Center for the Environment, who has done yeoman's work helping us get to this place in the just over a year that he's been with us, Dr. Lee Ball.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is a real pleasure to be here at this point in time, and I really do want to make sure that we thank Caitlin and really the students that were part of many different meetings where we asked your feedback, and you know the meeting schedule was pretty relentless. thanks to all the faculty and staff that engaged and all of our leadership, President Nelson, the Board of Trustees, and then everyone else, because it has truly taken a village approach to integrate all of these really good ideas. This is a transformational time for the college, and we're really committed to utilizing these projects in a way that so we can all learn from them, our students, faculty and staff, and our community partners as well. We feel like that this is going to have a tremendous impact, not only on our campus, but on the city of Salisbury, Rowan County, our region, and really our nation. And this is something that is not happening a lot in higher ed at the moment. We have up to $90 million of capital projects, when a lot of our peer institutions are they're under hiring freezes and they're having budget crises, and they're literally going in the opposite direction. We're doubling down for a couple of reasons. We know that we care about the environment deeply, and we want people to learn about the different ways to take care of the planet. But we also understand that these are truly investments in not just the campus but our community, and it makes really good financial sense to do what we're doing. So we're looking at certainly the long-term benefits of making these investments. We're all going to experience some, like Barbara said, some controlled chaos for many months to come, and it is something that we're gonna get through this together. And it's thanks for all the patience leading up to this. We're gonna need a whole lot more to get to the other side of these 4 significant projects that we're embarking on. If you haven't already noticed, when you go outside, listen to the hum that's kind of in the background. That hum is the district energy system, what we're calling part of our energy modernization project. And those are the wells that are being drilled in Frockfield, 2 well drilling rigs, and a third supposed to arrive potentially tomorrow to accelerate the process. If you haven't been to Frockfield, just know a couple things. It's not going to look like that forever. If you remember what the library looked like this time last year. All right. If you remember what the library looks like, we'll return Frockfield to its nice grassy lawn. So the project right here obviously is underway. The Smokestack project and the Stanback Residence Hall are getting started very soon in the coming weeks. If any of you have any questions about what's going on, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you about all the details that have gone into this work. And again, the last thing I will say, we're just getting started, but our partners that have been working with us on these projects are just phenomenal. Thank you so much for just showing up every day and pushing us and asking us the difficult questions and really all of your brilliant ideas. We certainly have come together and come up with some amazing ideas that is going to contribute to just generations of students that are going to be here at Catawba College. So thank you so much for being here. And I know that kind of few of us are between here, us, and you all, and the rest of the refreshments. So I'm going to pass it to our good friend Jeff Turner, the president of Brailsford and Dunleavy, who have really helped us keep all of this on the rails. Thank you.
A little smaller. Don't want to lose that. Good afternoon. Good to see everybody today. I'm Jeff Turner, co-president of Brailsford and Dunleavy. We have the honor to serve as the program manager for this ambitious program. I was thinking on my drive over today, we've only really been involved with this project for a year, and look how much has been done. And about a year ago, I had breakfast with President Nelson, and he said, "Let's meet at the Palm." And I said, "The Palm Steakhouse is open for breakfast?" But I go to the Palm, and I said, "I'm here for Catawba College," and there's this room in the back. And they're having a recruiting event, but I was in the wrong place, and everybody was so hospitable and friendly. And I said, "Where's the president?" He said, "He's not here." And he was outside waiting for me for breakfast outside. That's what this place is. It's a very, very special place. I think about it with 3 C's: community, care, and culture. At B&D, it's more than just a building. You're going to hear about that today. It's about the sense of place. It's about the purpose for the students. And when we start our projects, we talk about the why, not just about the bricks and sticks, but why are we doing this? And I remember we had a visioning session, and Monica and the president and everybody talked about how wonderful this place is in terms of how caring it is. Caring in the fact that everybody knows your name, that the story they were telling me about how if you missed a class, the faculty worried about you. Where does that happen anymore in America? The culture of this place, how tremendously special this culture is in terms of people that have been here since day one for a long time. And of course, the care this place has. I think one of President Nelson's you're saying to me was a place where you're going to spend 200 weeks to figure out the rest of your 3,000 weeks. It's just a very, very special place. So I'm honored to be here. Thanks, so many people have been a part of this. Many projects do not get to this point after 1 year. It's really tremendous. And I want to thank everybody for that. There's a saying here, you know, about good goes far. At Catawba, good goes very, very far. And I'm going to close with one statement. My dad's an old Marine, so I got to use his quote. He always said, "The difficult we do right away. The impossible, it takes a little longer." Thank you, guys. And I'll turn it over to David, Chief of our Energy and Sustainability Group.
All right, I got talking points so I don't go over, but so first of all, I'm Dave Carlscott. I'm the leader of our energy and sustainability practice at Brailsford and Dunleavy, and I've known Lee now for about a decade. We first met at a Harvard executive leadership course in Boston, kind of learning about sustainability and thinking big. And we've had an ongoing conversation really about what does really advanced sustainability look like at a higher education campus. You know, and so it's not just making a great building or, you know, the butterfly gardens, but it's really about, you know, not only doing the right thing, but showing the world how to do the right thing, because it's not enough for higher ed to change, but it's really higher ed to be a catalyst for the world. So I've had the pleasure of leading the District Energy and Modernization Project, which basically consists of poking a bunch of holes in your soccer field, 600 feet deep, and running water through pipes to the buildings, which kind of doesn't sound all that exciting, except for the fact that it will eliminate fossil fuels from the campus for heating, and it will also provide cooling for the campus. But when we were thinking about this project, it wasn't enough just to replace the bad thing that you could do with something else, but really how do we make the campus itself better? So as we're going into each building to connect the buildings, we're also getting rid of a lot of the deferred maintenance, replacing, you know, the HVAC systems, adding cooling to some of the key buildings. Like I know the gymnasium, part of the gym isn't even cooled today, so this project, by making a big mess in your soccer field, is actually gonna add cooling to the gym. So I think in a very systems kind of way, it's a connective tissue that will really use the local landscape to help heat and cool a campus, which is really exciting to me. I do want to correct President Nelson, because I think the one person who will be here is probably Garrett's son. He's 2 years old now, so in 100 years, I hope Garrett's son is still here, and I hope that the pipes that we're putting in the ground today will still be serving this campus 100 years from now. But I did want to thank the way this idea came about. I don't want to take credit for it, because really there was a lot of other great work. I know the Little and CMTA team had done a bunch of master planning work where this concept came up. I know we've worked with pretty much the entire executive team and the board to really, you know, get the resources together and to get everybody thinking big. So it's such an amazing place where you can, you know, one of the second largest capital project going on right now is sticking a bunch of pipes in the ground, which is well done, Catawba. So I'll leave it there. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Warner. I'm a design director with Page Architects and Engineers, and I'm the representative of I'll call it the design and build team. And being your representative, it's not me alone standing in front and completing all the design work, but a credit goes to a much larger team. And it starts with Balfour Beatty and recognizing Hunt Warner, John Schlobum, Busy Rapucci, and Aidan Mulligan are here today, as well as the representatives from Land Design, Allison Merriman and Nate Doolittle, and then our Page team members that are here today, represented by Dan Fields, Amanda Bergen, and Zany Klein. Our design work was really evolved around three themes. The first was to develop a program to support a community of students which can lead to student success. And that team was led by Stefan Moore and a large cohort of student involvement throughout the programming process. So we actually endeavored to reach every student on campus for input, of which we had nearly 200 responses for students paying it forward to their next generation, with having meaningful impact on the design work that our team completed. It was meeting the climate challenge set forth by our building program by incorporating building systems to maximize student comfort, but doing it in a clean and a sustainable manner by following design guidelines by Passive House design guidelines. And not only meeting those lean requirements to reduce the overall energy usage, but we also incorporated the means for students to have, we'll say, live feedback for the energy that's being used within the facility. And by doing so, creating an opportunity for students to link into a database and see it on screens or on their phone, have the additional capacity to reduce energy use by 20% by just changing user behavior. And finally, design for us is about creating a beautiful place. It's extending the build vocabulary on campus, extending the green space. We very much look forward converting that parking lot into open, a rolling community space, which will incorporate rainwater gardens, pollinator gardens, and open space for students to recreate, as well as leave room to extend the woods from across Yost onto the property to create a lovely tree canopy. And then finally, if you've looked at some of the renderings, you may have noticed that the design vocabulary might be very familiar for those that kind of walk about the Catawba campus by design. That the intention here is to create a new facility which seamlessly integrates into the campus architecture by drawing upon the legacy architecture that formed the campus and its origins, as David talked about earlier. So we've combined all that, a building that responds to its history, but always looking forward into the future for their future students. So thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Abigail Allen, and I'm an architect with Little Diversified, and I'm representing a few folks today, in addition to Catawba and the B&D team, the Edifice team, CMTA as well. And we have the privilege to share with you just a little bit about 3 projects that we have the fortunate opportunity to be working on here at Catawba College. So I'm going to start by talking about the first 2, Salisbury Rowan and Stanback Hall. Some of you may have lived in them at some point. They're 2 of the largest residence halls here on campus and some of the oldest ones, the ones that were built in that 1925 to 1935 time period. These buildings are historic. They're beautiful. They're a lot of what you think of when you think Catawba, that quintessential look, that folded texture of history. And they're almost 100 years old. Shocking. And like any building from that age, they're going to have a little wear and tear, a little love, and that's where we come in. We are going to help transform those buildings with Catawba and some incredibly generous donations to bring them new life. And we're so thrilled to do that. The Salisbury Rowan project will actually be a complete gut renovation, which is super sustainable reuse of the existing carbon there. And then when it comes to Stanback Hall, we'll be renovating the center 1929 portion for any of you that were here at that time, and replacing the 2 flanking wings. So they'll be totally transformed by the time that we're done. The idea is that we will preserve that rich history that many of us have talked about that's established here on the campus, rich history on the exterior, but make massive improvements to the student experience on the interior. And I really want to emphasize that this team that's been developed around these projects is focused on student health and wellness. And that's really driving all of this work that we're involved in here on campus. And that's actually why these projects will be pursuing WELL certification. Some of you are like, what the heck is WELL certification? I'll give you a tiny sense for that. So it's a building performance measurement, and it really focuses on that human health well-being standpoint. So it looks at energy performance, building performance, but it's going to think about things like air quality, light, natural views, things that really go beyond the kind of measured building standpoint. And if you think about living in one of these older buildings, that's really flipping the idea of what it means to live in an older building to be this restorative, regenerative, healthy place to be and live on campus. And that's pretty amazing work that this college has taken on. So we're very excited that when students open their door to their new room in Stanback Hall in fall of 2026, that they're going to find a fresh, modernized, accessible place to call home that's going to overall improve their health and wellness and lead to their success here at Catawba College. So great job, team, in getting us here so far. So those are the first two, and we'll move on to talking about Smokestack. So I was thinking we might be outside, but if you imagine we're outside, the building over there with a super tall smokestack, that's actually been the campus power plant for over 100 years. It started off as being coal-powered, then it was gas, and then actually in the 90s, the great work that this college has done led to the decommissioning of that, just with the transformation and progress of going to geothermal systems, sustainable things of that nature, and solar power. So it's not needed as a power plant anymore. But it actually is this really incredible marker of all of that journey that the college has done, from relying on coal to where we are now, of the sustainable campus, trailblazing carbon neutrality, trailblazing sustainability for colleges across the country. And the college came to us with this incredible poetic idea of adaptive reuse a few years ago. What if we transform this historic power plant into not producing power, but student energy and student hub for places for people to come together. So we're very excited to announce that this project is a renovation and addition to the existing building. It'll include things like student focus areas, collaboration spaces, that energy and mixing of ideas, just like power, but with people, a student lounge, a multi-purpose room, a cafe, a wine bar for those of you interested in that, a roof terrace that overlooks the greenway. It's going to be a plethora of beautiful, engaging spaces for people to come together. And overall, the goal is to re-energize life on campus with this injection of energy at the center point. And all of this led to the college, again, pursuing that sustainability trailblazing. So we're actually looking at living building certification for this project. Again, what is that? I'll give you a little sense. It's a building performance metric that's, you're seeing lots of different metrics here, right? That speaks to the living learning laboratory that we're establishing here on campus. And this is really a more holistic approach to sustainability. It's not just building performance. Of course, that's something that we're looking at, systems and materials and things of that nature, but it's restoring habitats like the local birds and bees that used to live in this area, creating new homes for them. Thinking about responsible water use and social justice initiatives like providing spaces for your really rich community of Salisbury to come in and use the space and make it theirs as well. And this would actually be the first living building project in the state, and I think one of the very few in the entire world. So we're very excited about this project as well. Before I wrap, I would just want to thank you, the college, for the opportunity to work on these incredible projects. We really look forward to seeing them come together and come to life on your campus and fill it with all of this energy we've been discussing. And also want to thank you for the relationship we've formed over the years of working together and that sharpening of, you were speaking to it, Lee, earlier, of just each other, pushing each other forward, inspiring the regenerative and sustainable work that we're all really passionate about. So thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Caitlin Cothran, and I serve as the student body president here at Catawba College. And this year, I also had the privilege of serving as a member of the design committee for the new residence hall. In committee meetings, I conveyed what students would like to see in the new residence hall, such as single occupancy rooms and study spaces. and I'm so excited to see this project now come to fruition with this groundbreaking. I still remember the evening of May 8th when I received a call from President Nelson. He had told me that we had received a gift for a new residence hall, which excited me for the future of Catawba students. While serving at an SGA for 4 years, this is a wish I have constantly heard from students. Being able to see students' desires actualized through this gift has been an incredible experience. It demonstrates the care Catawba and its community members have for the well-being of our students. Next to the new residence hall will be the Smokestack project. This will be a new hotspot for students, featuring study spaces, a cafe, an outdoor patio, and more outdoor seating. From conversations I've had with several students, I know the features offered in this project are highly desired, and I cannot wait to see the project's impact when I return in the future. I've also had the privilege of serving as a resident assistant in Stanback Hall for 2 years. I have loved serving my residents in this hall, and I'm so excited that future Stanback residents will have an even better experience than I did with the new renovations, even if this means they have to tear down my old rooms. Servicing these projects will be a new geothermal well. This energy system shows Catawba's devout commitment to sustainability. I am so proud to attend a college that will improve its campus for its students' benefit in a sustainable manner. To my students in the room, even though some of you may not reap the benefits of these new projects, I urge you to recognize the important role you all have played in their creation. By voicing your desires to SGA and by attending student input events, you have truly left your mark on Catawba's campus. I am so proud of you all for caring about the future of your college and for recognizing the importance of these projects. The new residence hall, the Smokestack project, the Stanback renovations, and the new geothermal well will all undoubtedly improve Catawba's reputation. This will make your degree worth more than it already is, so your input has truly been an investment in your future, and I cannot thank you all enough. Catawba family, I am so excited for the future of our campus with these capital projects. Once a Catawban, always a Catawban, and as always, go Cat U. Thank you.
Notre Dame Law School will be lucky to have you. That's where she's going, by the way. If you want to keep up, and I hope you do, just Google Catawba College Capital Projects or catawba.edu/capital projects, and you'll see updates all the time to what's happening on these projects. So I hope you'll keep up there. And a couple of remarks. Caitlin just mentioned it, but I'm proud, not surprised, but proud at the way our students who will never get to live in these halls or enjoy them as students have kind of selflessly helped us in charrettes, gatherings, giving input to help us design what our students really need as well as want. So I know you're not surprised, Gary, right, that our students would be that way, but I need to note it. And we're proud of you all who have helped us to get to the place that we are. I also have to say, let it sink in, $90 million worth of investment. That matters for this community, for this region, for this campus, and no debt. We're grateful. It has also, I hope you see, afforded us the possibility to work with architectural firms and builders and partners and engineers who are the very best in the country and in the world. And this college deserves that. And to those who have given so generously to these projects, you have afforded us that opportunity. We realize very few colleges and universities get to do what we're doing. It's a lot of work. It's a big mess. All these people have to put up with a really annoying, demanding president in the process, and it's worth every minute of it, isn't it? 100 years. So cheers. We don't have the appropriate accoutrements for that, but cheers, yeah, Tom, to Catawba College and another new beginning. Thank you all for being here.